I am Thea Miller-Ryan from OLLI, the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute at the University of South Dakota. And there are 125 OLLIs across the nation. So you will be able to check your own state and belong to an OLLI there, or you're always welcome to join us here. Every February, we have these really fun classes called OLLI Shorts. They're every weekday in the month of February. They start at 12:30 and we get you out of here by 1. That's a promise. And we bring in special guests. And this year, I thought it would be fun to check around for some really different and fun things. As you know, if you joined us earlier, we met the world record holder of the largest collection of Swamp Thing memorabilia, who lives right here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Hard to believe, but that was quite a talk too. So this has been the other one that I'm most excited about. Don't tell the other speakers, but I'm really excited. I would like you all to meet Jason Haack. Jason is the one in the little box, and I'll make him, we'll pin him in just a second here. And Jason is the one holding the little pig. And Jason, welcome. I am so glad that you are here and joining us. We want to hear about Abby Normal's Museum of the Strange and why you're not there.
Again, I'm Jason, owner of Abnormal's Museum of the Strange in Harrisburg, South Dakota. The museum is full of all sorts of dead things. We got a few live things in there. We actually take on rescue alligators. So we have 13 American alligators that are live inside the shop that people can come in and hold and get their pictures with. You know, we have an odd shop, an odd museum, so you got to have weird pets. And so we just picked this guy up here in Knoxville, Tennessee this week, or girl, I should say. This is Piggy Smalls. We're traveling between expos right now. When we're not running the museum at home, we do on the road expos for Oddities and Curiosities Expo, and we go around the country picking up, buying, selling, and trading all sorts of weird stuff throughout the nation. It's quite an interesting little fun journey that we do. But yeah, like I said, currently we're hanging out in Knoxville, Tennessee. We're actually at Mountain Oddities Museum, which is it's a really good friend of mine's museum of strange and unusual items. We actually came out here to bring him a Cyclops pig in a jar. He's got one eye and a little elephant nose there. So we traded that off for a piece for our museum. I'd show you it, but it's in the back of the van and it's quite large. I'm going to put the little piggy down real quick. There you go. Now you can be mad on the floor. But yeah, so a lot of what we do at the museum is all educational based. We have osteology, skeletons, human skeletons, human bones, different pieces from all over the world. A couple of my favorite ones, I would say, we have a human skull of a man that was executed in Fort Worth, Texas in 1914. We got everything down to his death certificate, to a picture of him right before they hung him. The gentleman ended up going on a rampage after losing a game of craps the night before for $100, and he shot 5 different people, killing 2. One was his target, one was a cop. And yeah, it was a whole craziness about that. And we found out who he was and had him all verified and everything. So that's probably one of my more historical significant pieces inside the museum that we have. But that's a lot of what it is. It's natural history, science, just weird old medical. It's quite an interesting little place. It's definitely the strangest museum in South Dakota.
What are some of the other things you have on display there? Like, I know that I've seen the skeleton that has 2 parts, or like 2 faces maybe.
Oh, Edward Mordrake. Yeah, we have an Edward Moore Drake. That one is cast replica off of the real thing. Edward Moore Drake lived in the he died in the 1890s. He wasn't written into a medical book until 1915, and they actually exhumed his body to prove that he actually existed. At the young age of 23, he unfortunately took his own life after multiple attempts at trying to get the face that was on the back of his head removed. It was basically a set of Siamese twins that never split, and the cell never split right. So he ended up having his normal face on the front and a face in the back of his head. And he would tell the doctors that it would talk to him at night, telling them to do just some evil satanic things to hurt people and whatnot. And that's not who this guy was. So it ended up, unfortunately, he did take his life at the age of 23 due to the incredible thing on his head. And then we actually are the only museum that I know of that has a real true unicorn skeleton, fully articulated, full on, same size as a horse, big old unicorn horn on it and everything. We have a 6-legged calf skeleton, which is really interesting. I've never ever seen a 6-legged, any kind of multiple leg skeleton articulated. And then we have multiple 2-headed calves that are all local from South Dakota. A lot of the items that we put in there when it comes down to the barnyard freaks, as we call them, or Farmageddon animals, we try to keep those local as possible when we go to get those specimens, just so we can have people can have a better feel of, oh, hey, this just happened 30 minutes away from us is where this one was born. Kind of keeps it homely in a way.
Wow.
But yeah.
Let's see. One of the things, I've been looking through your website and your Facebook pages, and you have a lot of crime related things as well. Like you talked about the person earlier, but you've got the dental chair that a dentist in Minnesota, that there was a murder there.
That is one of our most recent acquisitions. That is a dental chair from 1904. The dentist was bludgeoned to death inside the chair by, they don't know if it was a patient or another dentist in town. The crime was actually never solved, and it was just right over the border into New Ulm, Minnesota. When this happened, the guy went in the upstairs where the dentist office was, killed the dentist, and then escaped out of a window, is what they gathered. But yeah, we have that chair in the museum. We have another death chair where a gentleman was shot in the chair that actually has a bullet hole in it. That one a lot of people say is haunted. When they sit in it, they get heavy feeling in their chest or arm. Just a lot of like, it gives them like a weird sensation. Me, I haven't felt anything, but I think I'm just immune to ghosts and spirits and creepy stuff with all the places that we go and do. We put ourselves in a lot of interesting positions in haunted houses and haunted buildings and stuff like that, which is a lot of fun. And Haack's a big chicken, so it makes it even more interesting.
What about like dolls? Do people come there to see some of the dolls? I know some people love to collect dolls and other people are completely creeped out by them. What do you find with dolls?
Yeah. None of the dolls inside our shop are something that you would see in a normal collection. They're all ones that have been given to us from various customers. A lot of them have different backgrounds to them. We have one that people swear they can catch it breathing. They say they've seen its eyes move. That one's actually really creepy. My curator at the museum actually covers that one up. If she's alone there and we're not open, she'll cover that up with a table, one of our tablecloths that we use on the road, just so she doesn't have to see it.
Oh my goodness. That's crazy. So as you've been traveling, you said you've been adding to your collection a little bit and you showed us the Cyclops pig, but what have you added some other fun things in your travels?
We added a 5 foot tall, 9 foot long velociraptor dinosaur. That was used at the world movie premiere of one of the Jurassic Park movies in 2018. And so we added that. We managed to slide that into the van. And then we've just been picking up a lot of different skulls. We got one piece in particular, which is, I wish I had it out of the van. It's all packed up, but it's a Juan Cabana piece. And Juan Cabana is one of the leading gaff artists in the world. Very secretive man, doesn't do a whole lot of work for very many people. He's very specific on who he sells his art to. Actually, I can show you a Juan Cabana piece that's actually standing next to me, so you can kind of get an idea of what it is.
I'd
And
love
this
to see
is
that.
a mermaid. This is a mermaid mummy. I'll bring this over here so you guys get a good look at it.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So that's a gaff. It's not real, but we tell everybody they're real. But that is a mermaid right there.
Oh my goodness. And so you added, what's the piece? Can you say what it is that you added to your collection?
So I added a mermaid head that'll go inside of our gator room with our other mermaid head. So now we have a male and a female mermaid heads.
Wow. That sounds like quite a collection. What is a gaff artist, Pam wants to know?
So Pam, a gaff artist is somebody that will take just animal parts, different things, and they'll create something, and it'll look extremely real, but at the same time, it's just really fake.
Wow.
That's what gaff means in this industry.
How did you get into this?
Accidentally, honestly. I had always collected skulls and things like that, and then I went through a bout with bone cancer, and it really just changed my mindset on things. So I started collecting more funeral home items, more darker stuff. It really just opened my eyes up to like the beauty side of death. And then my collection just outgrew what I had in my tiny little house, and I had no choice but to, well, let's try to sell a couple of these things so I can get some better things. And it's just an addiction that has not stopped. And it's been absolutely crazy. Like our museum is just absolutely full of stuff. We like it so when somebody comes in there that they walk through it at least twice and then see something that they didn't see the first go around. That's what our goal is for our customers, is to get amazed. You know, if we can get them to walk out of the museum and say WTF, good or bad, we did our job.
How did you decide how to name your museum?
So actually, we're trying to come up with a name. We were throwing things out there, and then we were actually sitting there watching Young Frankenstein one night, and my daughter, whose name is Abby, about fell off the couch laughing at the abnormal brain part. And so when that happened, it was like, wait a second, and it just popped and clicked, and you know, it's to us, it's the perfect name for the museum.
It is. It really is. That's a good fit. I like your logo too. That's a good one.
Thank you. Yeah, we got another one coming out with some unicorn skeletons on it too.
And my question just left my head. Tell me, the one thing I keep wondering is with your human remains, how are those? I mean, do you have to get permits to have those?
No.
Is it legal to have? Oh, here, somebody just asked that.
No, I'm just kidding. As far as the legalities go, each state has different laws. So like currently I'm in Tennessee. I cannot, if I can buy, sell, or trade something while I'm in the state of Tennessee, but I cannot cross the state line with it for humans. That's the same way in Georgia and Louisiana. As far as South Dakota goes, this is where it gets fun. The law reads, as long as it's not previously been buried within the state of South Dakota, it is legal to buy, sell, or display for profit.
Oh,
So, and there's no paperwork. We literally have 2 specimens that came with paperwork as far as human stuff goes, and that's how we were able to track back the Tom Lee. And if you guys actually get bored and want to look up his story, just type in Tom Lee, Fort Worth, Texas, 1914, and his whole story will come up. And it's a pretty interesting story on his history. But as far as legal stuff goes, I mean, most of the time you don't even get a receipt, but you just have to be careful, and you have to just have trusted sources. If it looks like it's been buried, it's been buried. Don't touch it.
that's really good advice. I'm sure we can all use that on a regular basis. How much traveling do you end up doing in a year?
Well, last year, from February to February, we put on 43,000 miles on our travel van. I mean, we go, like right now we're in Knoxville. Next week or this coming weekend we'll be in Atlanta. If we get that show, we'll be in Charlotte. Then I go home for a week, and then I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's usually about every other week I'm in a different big city. And I mean, we go all the way from all the way up to New York, Pennsylvania, all the way down to Tampa, Florida, Oregon, Seattle, up in that area. We've gone Vegas, Utah. Like it's just about it's everywhere. We go to almost every single state except for Arkansas, because Arkansas. But yeah, we definitely get around.
Wow. So we have some more questions in our chat. Can you show us your favorite item there in your friend's museum?
Yes.
Can you move the phone?
Actually, I can. So I can actually give you a quick tour of his museum.
Yeah. Yes, Pam's going, yes.
All right. So this corner here, this is all screen used movie props.
Wow.
So we got the Thing. Jim, can you help me with this one? What movie was that from?
The movie Buddy, 1990s Buddy movie.
So this was from
gorilla.
This is from the 1990s movie Buddy, where they did a necropsy on a gorilla. And then it's got a 7-foot king cobra there.
Wow.
An elephant's trunk.
He's 16 foot 3 inches.
Oh, never mind. He's 16 foot 3 inches, but he stands 7 feet tall. Got the I'll just see if I can turn the camera around. Oh, this can't. This guy was a pagan soldier, the Knights of Templar, and he's a mummy. We got the 50-pound rubber band ball.
Oh my God.
Everybody's got to have one of those.
Yes.
There's
I think we're losing your bandwidth is getting lower as you move further in. It's harder to hear you.
Is it working now?
Yeah.
Okay. So in here we have an 1870s P.T. Barnum traveling sideshow piece, and that's a 2-headed lamb. And then there's the Homer Tate mummy. That one is actually a very, very famous mummy. It was made in 1935 by Homer Tate. It was used in sideshows. It was on display at the American Dime Museum, and then later at the Philadelphia Auditorium. So those are a lot of people. I'll actually have Jim pop over here real quick, and come over here. I'll introduce you to the gentleman that runs this shop. This is Jim.
How you doing?
Would you want to tell me
Hey,
a little
Jim.
bit about your museum that I didn't cut him on?
We're just the biggest in Tennessee. we are actually noticed as the biggest in Tennessee, and I actually sell the Ripley's. So yeah, we got, if it's dead or weird, I own it.
Wow. That is amazing. What a collection.
It's definitely a lifestyle.
How
Yeah,
many
you gotta live
similar
a lifestyle to do it.
how many similar museums are there in the country?
More now. There wasn't back when we started it.
Yeah, there's smaller ones popping up here and there.
When I started it 40 some years ago, it wasn't cool.
Yeah.
Now it's a big thing.
Yeah, I would, if I had to roughly guess, I mean, you got the Museum of the Weird in Austin, Texas. You got all the Ripleys, which they have like,
Well, Ripley's is a tourist trap. It's not a museum.
yeah.
I don't care what anybody says.
Small private ones. I mean, there's probably 3-4 dozen of them out there. I would
At least
guess.
there's at least 4 or 5 dozen major ones.
Yeah.
Venice Beach Sideshow.
Oh, I forgot about that one. That one's a really good.
That's
one.
a really good one. There's a bunch in Florida. There's a bunch different. Most big states have big museums. New York has at least one. Philadelphia has the Mutter Museum, which is all.
Yeah, all humans really cooler. We say it weird up there.
Anything near Seattle for Pam?
There you got it. Oh yeah, we will be in Seattle, Portland. You'd have to go on to the Oddities and Curiosities Expo. You'd have to just Google that, and you can find out what dates that we are going to be in Seattle. But yeah, we'll be in Seattle, and then a week before that, we'll be in Portland. So if she wants to hit one or both, she's more than welcome to.
That's fantastic. I wish I could do that. If people want to find a museum like yours, and what would be some words you should Google to find them?
Oddities, curiosities, just weird stuff.
Weird stuff.
Yep, those 3 should get you in the general realm of where we're at.
Oh, good. Oh, I missed a question from earlier. Does the transfer across state lines apply to dinosaur bones too?
No, it's specifically only based on humans.
Okay.
A lot of that, like for Georgia, a lot of the reason for that is you got to have paperwork for it to cross the line, and that's mainly because the CDC is based out of there. So there's a lot of things that go transferred into Georgia that come in and out all the time that are contaminated specimens, things like that, and they want them documented and tracked just in case they can prevent an outbreak of any sort.
Wow. An outbreak. That sounds scary. So what are your tell us about your hours in South Dakota, when you're going to be reopening in the spring, so we can all come down and see you.
So we're actually really processing we're doing a big remodel in the front of our front main gift area or gift shop. So we have right now we're doing limited hours. It's mainly by appointment only. Mainly going like Fridays, Saturdays. Saturdays work best to come and see the museum, to be honest with people. During the week, it's so hard to maintain regular hours right now with us traveling. And my curator is finally coming back to work here right now. Actually, she should be working at the shop. But we should have our set open hours again here within the next few weeks. And those hours will be Wednesday through Saturday, noon to, I think we're doing noon to 6. But if somebody wants to come in earlier or later, they can just contact us either via Facebook, Instagram, America's Most Wanted, all of those we're listed. And they can set up an appointment.
I'm afraid to ask, but what kind of things would you have in your gift shop?
Yeah.
Oh, occasionally we'll even have things that are deformed, like the Cyclops pig. We'll have human skulls available, some human bones, different odd and weird animals in jars. We're going to be here coming up, we're going to start selling articulated skeletons out of the gift shop also. A lot of those will get used for educational purposes, things like that. And then we got some normal oddities, just some kid stuff for the keychains. And our shop is really kid friendly. Our daughter's 9 and she's the one that loves to give the tours. So we're kind of open to all ages, can go in there and have a blast.
That's fun. Someone asked, how's your relationship with animal control?
Oh, they love me. I'm their favorite. They actually, I think they were breaking in 2 new rookie officers a couple of weeks ago. They sent them to my house because somebody said that I was keeping alligators in dog kennels.
Oh no.
And they're clearly not even kept at my house. They're kept at the shop. And I ain't gonna stick an alligator in a dog kennel because you got to get the alligator back out of the dog kennel.
That's a good point. Good. Well, we've got just a couple more minutes. If anyone has some questions that you haven't put in the chat, feel free to unmute at this point and ask. This has been great.
Yeah, ask me anything. I'll make something up for you.
Do people ever get scared when they're there? Do they run off, or do they?
We've had people that have some of them will walk into the shop, they'll look in the gift shop part, and they'll turn around and leave. Some of them will make it into the museum, and then something in there will creep them out. And we've had quite a few different times where young ladies were messing with the dolls and stuff like that, and then creep themselves out, and they've taken off. 3 of them in particular, they left the building screaming, and it was absolutely hilarious. Yeah, that was probably one of the best days ever.
Oh my goodness. Other questions?
Not
Okay.
a question, but I looked up the Oddities and Curiosities Expo when you mentioned that, and there's a whole schedule online. It's in cities all over the country.
Oh yeah, and we go to most of the city, travel with that circuit pretty.
That's amazing. Well,
Very
I have
cool.
one last question if anybody else doesn't. Jackalopes, are they real or not?
They are real.
There we go.
So,
We have the answer from the museum owner himself.
so if you actually look up if jackalopes are real, it actually comes from a virus which is kind of similar to the human papilloma virus. It's sexually transmitted between rabbits, and it actually causes them to grow horns out of their face and out of their head. So that's where the actual jackalopes really came from.
I can vouch for that. I've actually seen that. I used to work for Game Fish and Parks. I've seen them with that virus. They can also get them on their backs and shoulders, but they do grow on their faces and heads. So
yeah. They look pretty gnarly. They can't be good for the rabbit for sure.
No. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. It is so good to have you here. Remember, we have more OLLI shorts this week and all the month of February. What a treat to have Jason here today. Go and visit, if you're in the area, go and visit Abby Normal's Museum of the Strange in Harrisburg. And check him out if you're on the road. Check him out at the Oddities and Curiosities show. Jason, thank you. You made my day.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. And Pam, anybody who has a question, Pam, I know you just said, can I get on your mailing list? You can email me at OLLI, OLLI, at usd.edu, and I'll be happy to add you to that. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Jason, have fun on the road. Take care.
Thank you. It was good doing this.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.